football presented by Discover. A beautiful night in South Bend for a big-time matchup. Number 8 Notre Dame, number 16 Texas A&M. A packed house at Notre Dame Stadium filled with green, with yellow, with blue, and certainly some maroon. And with the big game comes big emotions. This was just a couple minutes ago as teams were going back into the tunnel towards their locker rooms. You could feel the energy and the animosity between these two squads as they have a rematch from last year's season opener. We welcome you to the booth. No Eagle, Todd Blackledge. You were down there. You felt it.
Yeah, you could feel the energy, right? Even in the early part of warm-ups, you could feel the sense of urgency. And right before I came back up, I was standing by C.J. Carr, and as the Notre Dame offensive lineman came out, he headbutted every single one of them, even a couple of the injured guys that didn't even have a helmet on.
Well, that's always dangerous. Yeah. And C.J. Carr looked dangerous at times, both in a good way and sometimes in a negative. That's one of the main storylines through the bye week for Notre Dame after the week 1 loss. Jeremiah Love not getting the football, the defense, you go down the list. But this game, and Notre Dame in particular, it's all about up front. Yeah,
this is going to have to be a line of scrimmage game, and that was probably the most disappointing thing to Marcus Freeman and his staff about the week 1 loss was at critical times in that game in Miami, they got whipped at the line of scrimmage on both offense and defense. They've stewed over that now for 2 weeks. I fully expect both offense and defensive lines to play much better tonight. I also expect Jeremiah Love, who I think is one of the 2 or 3 best football players in all of college football, to have a bigger role in the game plan tonight. Only 14 touches. He was just a guy against Miami. He's got to be the guy tonight against the Aggies.
We've seen that he's more than capable. The Aggies feel like they've been here before. 2 top 10 wins last year, but they happened at home. And for Mike Elko, building this culture, building this program, this could be a signature win on the road.
Yeah, it sure could. And he's such a very good, he's a great coach. Like Marcus Freeman, defensive-minded guy, tough guy, blue collar, but he has a much more explosive offense than the one that he had against Notre Dame last year. It's led by sophomore quarterback Marcel Reed, who's making his 11th start tonight. First road game, but you can see from last year to this year his maturation, his development as a total quarterback under the tutelage of his coach Colin Klein, who's a pretty fair dual threat quarterback himself at Kansas State. It's an explosive offense, and what you're seeing with Marcel Reed, his eyes are finally starting to catch up with his feet.
The Aggies have brought energy, and they've certainly brought some fans. For more, we go down to Jordan Cornette.
Yeah, no, I talked with Coach Elko last night. He said he expects to get the best version of this Notre Dame team tonight. Stewing the Irish in the loss in week 1, having the whole bye week to think about that thing. I then asked him, well, what do you expect to see from this Notre Dame team tonight? And Coach Elko flatly said, a whole lot of Jeremiah Love, like Todd mentioned. There's lack of carries. They expect him to see it a lot. That Aggies defense and Coach Elko, they plan to be ready. In talking with Coach Elko, the keys to the game, he said one thing, explosive plays. We must generate them offensively. We must limit them from this Irish offense. He went on to talk about his team last year. He said he liked his team a lot last year. They just couldn't close games. Fast forward to tonight. What a sublime opportunity for his Aggies, and what everybody believes will be a 4-quarter game. Can they punctuate this one? We'll find out. For now, we send it over to Catherine Tappan for the Notre Dame Tilt.
Well, Jordan, in a few minutes, the 8th-ranked Fighting Irish will come running down this tunnel and into a sold-out Notre Dame Stadium for the first time this season. It's been 13 days since the players last took the field. A loss at Miami, followed by a bye in week 2. Star running back Jeremiah Love told us about that bye. It wasn't nice. It wasn't a good time. Marcus Freeman and his coordinators, Mike Denbrock and Chris Ash, all emphasize the importance of urgency, aggression, and speed in this game. Freeman told his players, you have to play with velocity and physicality. Don't worry about being perfect. Play football, not fitball, Noah.
Well, this is about as good as it gets for playing football. Number 8 versus number 16. It has already been a phenomenal day of college football, and we expect this nightcap to deliver in every way. Will it be Notre Dame getting on the board with a win, or A&M getting their revenge? Next on NBC.
Jeremiah Love! You know the vibes, baby! Notre Dame starts 2024 with a bang over Texas A&M.
We welcome you back to Notre Dame Stadium for number 16 Texas A&M and number 8 Notre Dame. A packed house and a beautiful night for football in the 7th meeting between these two schools. You saw Notre Dame eke out a victory last year, and both schools were honest. Both coaching staffs and players understood how close and how different that outcome last year in College Station could have been.
Yeah, a couple turnovers that went in favor of Notre Dame, a couple explosive plays that went in the favor of the Irish, the difference in the ball game.
Marcus Freeman and Mike Elko, third straight year that they will play against one another. In 2023, it was Notre Dame and Duke. Last year, these two teams. And now Freeman's team, looking for their first win, coming off an early season bye week, is happy to be back in the friendly confines of Notre Dame Stadium. Here come the Irish. A&M rolling out, and you see the captain, Armajé Reed Adams. He always brings out that chair and brings out the energy as we go to KT.
Coach, it's been nearly 2 weeks since your loss at Miami. What was the major focus point of emphasis for this to get a win tonight?
Well, it's about elevating. It's about improving. It's a long 13 days, but we needed it. We needed to improve as a football team, and we have. We're going to see if we improved enough to achieve team victory tonight, but we've improved. We just got to make sure that we go out and execute tonight.
CJ Carr gets his first career start here at Notre Dame Stadium in front of this hometown crowd. What does he need to do in order to be successful against the A&M defense?
You know what? Just, take advantage of the plays that are there for him. I don't want him to try to be somebody he's not, but he won't. But I also, have a lot of faith in him. Hey, if you see something, be aggressive. Like, there's no restraints. You're not a first-time player anymore. Go out there and be CJ Carr.
All right, Coach, thank you very much.
All right,
now let's go over to Jordan with Coach Elko.
Thanks, Catherine. Coach, in talking yesterday, when we asked you about Notre Dame, you said you expect to see a lot of Jeremiah Love. How does your defense intend to scheme against him this evening?
Yeah, he's a great back. We got to leverage him, and we got to do a good job trying to tackle him with a lot of bodies.
First opportunity for you guys at a real test. It happens to be on the road here at Notre Dame. What was your message to your guys before you left the locker room?
Yeah, go out and play football the way we know how. It's a great stage. It's a great environment. Let's go play our football.
Coach Elko, best of luck to you. We'll send it back up to Noah in the booth.
All right, guys, great stuff. Marcel Reed and this Texas A&M Aggies team believes that this can be the game where they can prove to the rest of the country that they can break through and be a legitimate contender, not just in the SEC, but beyond.
Well, they've got a lot of good pieces, and they added some speed on the perimeter at wide receiver. That's why I was saying I think this is a much more explosive and dangerous offense than the one Notre Dame's defense faced a year ago in College Station.
They were honest. Everybody's looking at this as a watermark game, and they believe they play those every week in the SEC. On the other side, CJ Carr, just his second start of his young career, and Notre Dame won the toss and elected to defer. So it'll be Carr watching from the sideline to begin his first home game. He said he had chills just thinking about what it was going to feel like running out on this field after having to do it in Miami for his first collegiate start. See Reed Adams and the leadership of this A&M side. Mike Elko has built a fantastic program as expected. In just year 2, we saw what he did in 2 years at Duke and included the date with Notre Dame in 2023 in which the Irish won. And we'll see his offense out on the field first here tonight. But first, the energy is about to get turned up here at Notre Dame Stadium. Notre Dame is going to send it away to start this game. Marcello Diometti will boot it to Terry Bussey. The dynamic sophomore, 9th in FBS in return yardage average so far through 2 weeks. Well, Marcel Reed has been so important to the success of this offense that scored 40-plus in their first 2 games, but this was in the third quarter last week against Utah State. Tries to evade, get out of the pocket. He goes down on his own accord, and then he got hit on the back end. He didn't return to this game, which was more precautionary than anything, but it did take him out for the rest of the time. Aerial coverage brought to you by Ford. Ready, set, Ford. Here in South Bend, and they've got so much excitement with a 7-0 lead to see their young quarterback play in front of the hometown fans for the first time. The Ryder Cup is live from Bethpage Black Golf Course in New York, where America's best take on Europe's elite golfers. September 26th to the 28th on NBC, USA, and Peacock. It is a massive weekend on NBC and Peacock. We've got the Penn State whiteout game. We've got Packers, Cowboys, Micah Parsons against his former team, and of course the Ryder Cup as well. Should be awesome, and you can find it all right here on NBC. Tomorrow, it's the Manchester Derby, streaming live on Peacock, whether you're red or blue. A rivalry today that's sharply relevant as it is historically rich. Manchester City, Manchester United, tomorrow, 11:30 Eastern on Peacock. Time to take a look at the United cam here at Notre Dame, and of course, so much history that comes with playing here at Notre Dame Stadium. Mike Elko, who's the defensive coordinator here for a year, did mention that. He didn't expect to have all that nostalgia coming into the game, but he knew the players would probably be into it. We were into that first quarter, a lot of action.
A lot of action, and, you know, at the top of the show, we talked about Notre Dame anyway. Expected their offensive line to play much better. They did that in the first quarter. Expected to see Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price have a bigger role in the game plan, and we saw that in the first quarter too. Now another big critical third down situation near the goal line, and see what Texas A&M's defense can come up with here.
Defense has been lackluster by Mike Elko's standards. They had the one big play on offense and then a couple of mistakes. Yeah,
a couple of mistakes, and some of those mistakes also set them back in third and very long yardage. The one mistake, the penalty on the sideline, extended a Notre Dame scoring drive. So, yeah, uncharacteristic. And in a game like this, of this magnitude with 2 evenly matched teams, you can't afford too many of those.
Sunday night, J.J. McCarthy makes his SNF debut at home as the Vikings host Michael Penix Jr. and the Falcons Sunday, 7 Eastern on NBC and Peacock. Big week for J.J. Gets the win in his first start in comeback fashion, becomes a father this week, and now a rematch of the 2023 college football season national championship between those two, Michigan and Washington. I don't remember what months later. I wanted to do math in my head, but I realized I do words for a living, not numbers. So we're going to stick with just the rematch from the national championship this Sunday on SNF. Mike, Chris, and Melissa will have the call. You know, it's not the first rodeo, so to speak, for the Aggies. We've seen over the last 7 years, ranked in the AP preseason poll. It ties the longest streak in program history. The problem is they've only finished ranked once in the last 6 seasons, and that was 2020, a 9-1 COVID year, which was all out of sorts around the country. Under Mike Elko, started 5-0 in conference play. We're up to 10 in the country last year, but 1-4 over the last 5 games. Finished the season unranked, and now trying to get over that hump. And this is the type of game that can help them do that as we look at the first down line, brought to you by Allstate. A win here, it feels like it continues you on the trajectory that Mike Elko has set them on. Notre Dame football is brought to you by Allstate. You're in good hands. By Xfinity. Be the best at watching sports. Stream smarter with Xfinity. And by Genesis Motor America. Learn more at genesis.com. 7th meeting between these two teams. Notre Dame leads the series 4-2, including the '94 Cotton Bowl, when Kevin Pendergast kicked the game-winning 31-yarder with 2:22 left. Number 4 Notre Dame over number 7 Texas A&M, 24-21. C.J. Carr trying to lead the number 8 Irish over the number 16 Aggies here tonight, alongside Jeremiah Love.
Noah, over on Peacock, how about the Ohio Bobcats? They took down West Virginia last week against the #1 team in the land. Parker Navarro to Chase Hendricks. What a catch. 67-yard touchdown pass. And the Bobcats are in it early in the third.
Somewhere, Timothy Chalamet is smiling right now. Parker Navarro is balling out once again.
In studio with Matt Castle. Matt, with what you've seen from the SEC, who is the king of that conference right now?
Georgia Bulldogs still reign supreme. Until somebody shows me that they can go knock them off, they still are the team to beat in the SEC.
The highlights on the All-State halftime report coming up.
Loving the earth tones from Ahmed. Meanwhile, this was just moments ago. Scooby Williams went back into the locker room, got tweaked up during that interception. Remember, he tore his meniscus on the first drive against Notre Dame last year. Friendly fire with Dalton Brooks on that play. Break.
Noah, Florida has answered. DJ Lagway getting the Gators going to Aiden Mizell. The fade pass works. All tied at 10 late in the first half. A big one down in Baton Rouge.
What a day of college football, by the way. We've had some just excellent games across the country, and this one is no different with A&M trying to take the lead here. Remember, Notre Dame scored early in this game on a blocked punt to the end zone, and they've really had it the entire way, but a chance for A&M to pull in front.
Take a look now, a couple plays that you mentioned. This was against Miami, and a couple miscues that really hurt them. This was the play right at the end of the half. And Adon Schuler, worst case scenario, get a pass interference penalty, but he just kind of got frozen. It was a great catch, and then this was the interception in the fourth quarter that Miami was able to capitalize on and extend their lead. And then tonight, the interception that led to the go-ahead score by Scooby there. And
he missed it wide left, had plenty of leg, just couldn't put in the right spot. And a worthy opportunity for A&M that they couldn't quite cash in on. Notre Dame will get the football to start the second half, down by 4 in what has been a wild 2 quarters here at Notre Dame Stadium. The Irish trying to get their first win of the season. A&M looking for revenge from last season's loss to Notre Dame. 4-point game after 2. This first half recap is brought to you by Geico. Get more with Geico. Time now for the CFB Bulletin, brought to you by Genesis Motor America. A 4-point ball game here in South Bend, back and forth. But Mario Craver has been a constant. 173 yards, more than the first half for a Texas A&M receiver since Mike Evans in 2013 had 182. Defense and special teams, talked about the takeaways. They did that with an interception. Leonard Moore, block kick on the first drive of the game led to a touchdown. 258 passing yards allowed, though, most in the first half under Marcus Freeman. The QB comparison, somewhat similar. More yardage from Reed, but a lot of that catch and run. C.J. Carr had the mistake towards the end of the first half with the interception that led to the touchdown, and then the botched snap that almost led to a field goal as time expired. It feels like, as expected, Mike Elko told us, this is going to come down to who's going to make the biggest plays latest in the game. And again, you talked about up front, both of these lines have had moments. Both of these defensive lines have had moments. It is a heavyweight battle as expected in a 4-point game as we head to the second half.
Yeah,
kind of Catherine Tappan.
Well, Noah, I just spoke to head coach Mike Elko to get an update on senior safety Bryce Anderson. He was spine boarded. He was then taken in an ambulance to Beacon Memorial Hospital for precautionary reasons. That is a level 1 trauma center 2 miles away from here, Notre Dame Stadium. He has feeling in all of his limbs. Coach spoke to him on the way out. He also said he told his team, this is our brother. The guys want to play strong for him here in the second half. Also, another injury update. Linebacker Scooby Williams is available, but doubtful for the rest of this game with a lower body injury, guys.
Well, with Discover It, fans can earn cash back on their game day purchases. Well, we know they love their football in the state of Indiana. And last night, St. Joseph High School defeated Marion High School 31-0, a shutout at home. The defense came to play. The offense complements. And a perfect night for St. Joe's. Not 1, not 2, but yeah, I guess 3. Yeah, let's stop at 3. Aerial coverage brought to you by Ford. Ready, set, Ford.
Well, everyone expected Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price to have a bigger role in the offense tonight, including Mike Elko. And he compared this duo last year and this year to a couple guys that he faced when he was the defensive coordinator here in 2017 when Georgia came to play. It was a 20-19 game. He compared them to Sony Michel and Nick Chubb, facing those two. And that's pretty high praise. Michel was a first-round draft pick. Chubb was a second-round draft pick, both outstanding players at Georgia and in the NFL.
Well, from the crew that brought to The Office comes a new comedy of underdogs with major issues. If you love The Office, you're also going to love The Paper, streaming now on Peacock.
The early report I got on it is it's pretty charming.
That was the direct quote, right?
That was the direct quote.
I mean,
John Fanta checking back in with a game break. Let's go to Oxford. A common opponent of both Notre Dame and Texas A&M, Arkansas Razorbacks trying to stay alive. Mike Washington Jr. from 3 yards out to cut the Ole Miss lead to 6, less than 5 to play.
yeah, that Arkansas matchup for Notre Dame is not going to be an easy task going to Fayetteville.
John Fanta checking back in with a game break. Former Notre Dame defensive coordinator Clark Lee and his Vanderbilt Commodores get a stop. And after the turnover on downs, Brock Taylor with a 51-yard field goal. Lenoris Sellers exited this game with a head injury. The Commodores on the cusp of a big upset.
That would be massive stuff in the SEC. This one doesn't necessarily mean as much in terms of the SEC standings, but for Texas A&M, it could be huge if they find a way in this final 15 minutes. Rock fight last year in College Station, but we've got a seesaw of offense so far tonight.
Yeah, we talked about, both coaches talked about how important explosive plays would be. Runs of 10 yards or plus, passes of 20 yards or plus, creating them with your offense, limiting them with your defense. A&M had the upper hand the first half, +2. But in that third quarter, Notre Dame, 4 explosive plays, 0 for the Aggies. So 31-31 game, and Notre Dame's offense moving right now with some momentum.
DJ Carr just his second start, first one here at home, and for the most part he's looked pretty good. A couple mistakes, but overall positive play.
A couple mistakes, but I mean he looks confident. He's throwing the ball well, under pressure, throwing well on first down, and he's doing a nice job of distributing the football.
Notre Dame football is brought to you by Jersey Mike Sub. Be a sub above. By T-Mobile. And by Allstate. You're in good hands. Well, tonight's game, 6th straight game against an AP-ranked opponent. Ties a school record for Notre Dame. Started at the college football playoff first round with Indiana, then Georgia, Penn State. Lost in the national championship game to Ohio State. Week 1 at Miami, and now here they are against number 16 Texas A&M with a 3-point lead and 14:01 remaining at home.
And again, this fourth quarter is going to come down to which one of these two defenses can get a critical stop. It may only take one.
Time for a look at the United Cam here in South Bend, all even at 34. The expectation was that it was going to be a battle. It has delivered as such. After a close game last year, let's not forget, these two teams were all tied up at 13 apiece with 5 minutes remaining, and it was Notre Dame that came away with big plays. Riley Leonard leading the team in the offense down the field. Jeremiah Love the touchdown. The defense gets a stop. They kick a field goal for insurance and win that game by 10. But that easily could have gone the Aggies' way.
Yeah, sure was. It was a close, hard-fought game all the way. 2 explosive plays, couple runs, one by Price, one by Love, and 2 forced turnovers by the Notre Dame defense. Really the difference in that ball game.
Look at the upcoming schedule presented by Discover. Maryland and Wisconsin next Saturday at noon. Our triple header continues with Purdue and Notre Dame here in South Bend. And then a huge showdown in Bloomington. Number 9, Illinois. Number 22, Indiana. Tyler Buckner is hoping that his defense can make sure that his mistake doesn't cost his team the game. Over. Texas A&M gets a signature road win under Mike Elko. They announce to the nation they have arrived with a 41-40 victory over Notre Dame. Let's go down to KT.
Coach, you told us a key to victory tonight would be making the key plays down the stretch. Your team executed a phenomenal game-winning drive. What can you say about the effort they put in tonight?
Yeah, unbelievable. Marcel Reed, our 2 wide receivers, Mario and KC, just kept making plays. Nate Borkacher makes an unbelievable play. Geez, we didn't play great, but we made all the plays we needed to make to win the game.
Was that the designed play to get it to Borkacher on that one?
Yeah, we kind of thought that's where it would go because we knew they would double the 2 slots, and so we got him one-on-one in the corner. and he came down and made a heck of a play.
What does a win like this on the road tell you about where your team is right now?
Yeah, it's the next step. It's the next step. We're a 3-0 football team. We got a lot of big games left. That's what it's like playing in this league, but we had to go on the road at night and beat a ranked team, and we did that tonight.
Coach, thanks so much for your time.
Yep, thank you.
The next step indeed for Mike Elko, and that feels like the biggest takeaway from this game. Certainly Notre Dame's going to be kicking themselves for some missed opportunities, but a lot of praise deserved for this A&M football team and the way that they've gotten revenge for last year's loss.
Absolutely, and like Mike Elko said, they made the plays down the stretch. I know Tyler Buckner feels awful. Remember the holding penalty on Christian Gray with 3rd and 16, gave him an automatic first down, but A&M just battled all the way through, and now for A&M, they go home. They have a bye week, and then 3 straight home games in the SEC against Auburn, Mississippi State, and Florida.
It is all in front of Mike Elko's team. Borkercher, the hero. The Nebraska transfer delivers at the end, and Marcel Reed, 360 yards, 2 touchdowns. This was the critical play late in the 4th quarter. Tyler Buckner couldn't handle the snap on the extra point, keeps Notre Dame up by just 6. And then it was Reed, put in the right spot, found his tight end, capped off a 13-play, 74-yard drive with a touchdown. And the quarterback, who has taken such incredible strides, leads to the extra point. That puts the Aggies up for good with 13 seconds remaining. Marcus Freeman, for the 2nd time in his head coaching career at Notre Dame, starts 0-2. And the Aggie fans that made the trip to South Bend were treated to a fun one, a good one, and a positive one. The Aggies go home 3-0. Coming up next, except on the West Coast, your local news for Catherine Tappan, TV, Terry McCauley, our entire crew. I'm Noah Eagle saying so long from South Bend.